Hi crafters and welcome. So I am pre-recording this just in case I go out of town this weekend, but you will get the introducing and the examples with both videos ready to view. So we're going to start with this bundle. This is the Phrases and Frames bundle. It is in the May to August 2026 catalog. It is from $1 million achiever Susan Campfield. It is 9 stamps. It is 4 dies, but the 4 dies actually make 7 shapes because you have the fallout pieces. Okay, also these dies are impressions dies, which means when you use, let me grab it, when you use your impressions plate, now it's not really a plate, it is a silicone piece, and mine is very dirty, so I'm going to wipe it off, but this is what they call the impressions plate, but it's really a very thick foam mat. So we'll show you what goes on with that once we get there. In fact, you know what, I think we're going to start with the dies first. I think it works better that way because then I can stamp on some of them if need be and going forward. All right, I am going to use for this is the two-tone cardstock. I believe this is Pumpkin Pie. I'm going to show you this because I believe that it gives just as good results as cardstock. Now, you know our cardstock is a little thicker than the two-tone cardstock. So I will grab a scrap of the orange so you can see it both ways. So let's go ahead. I don't think I'll be cutting again for a while. So let me grab everything I need. Let me grab a piece of that orange. Over to my scrap pile. All right. I believe this is actually the cardstock. Yes. And this might be Calypso Coral, but we'll just show you the difference on it. All right, so like you said, it is 4 dice. So we will bring over my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we'll first cut out the dies, and then the ones that do go through the impressions plate we will show after that. All right, so for this one I am going to use this middle one just so you can see what that looks like. Of course, if we're die cutting, you're going to use your platform 1, your thin a die adapter 2, and 2 3 plates. The sandwich is a little different when we use the impressions die to impress. So we'll show you that in a sec. So this is the cardstock. Run it back and forth. And there you have your cutout, your die, and your cutout piece. I might have had something on that paper. There's just a little bit of a scritchy there that I haven't gotten before. So that I'm going to put this off to the side because now we're going to run through with the two-tone cardstock. Throw that frame piece away. Let's do it on the darker side. Yeah, we're going to do it on the darker side. I'm going to put a little bit of an angle on it, just because it's such an intricate die, and that could be my problem from before. It could be that I didn't have it at an angle, so maybe that's why that one little piece stuck. Because as you can see here, none of this stuck. All right, so let's show you the difference first, just with the cardstock versus the two-tone cardstock. You can see, let me get it up here, not much of a difference. All right, maybe it looks like this is a little deeper because it is thicker cardstock, but you still can see both items. All right, now I'm going to show you the difference on this one, and then we'll cut the rest out, and I'm going to show you the impressions part of this. Now, what you have to understand is that you do want your die to stay in place. So I am going to put just a tiny bit of tape, two-sided tape, craft tape, whatever you want to call it, over this. Also, so it doesn't move, because there's a lot of pressure going through with this new soft foam pad. So sometimes this will shift a little. All right, so when you're going to do the impression, and I'm going to do it, you're going to still use 1 and 2, but then you're going to use your impressions mat. Will go right on top of the die. This is how it will, and it will do the impression and not cut through. And your 4 plate. Now, since this is you hear that static? There's a lot of static on this. Because it is kind of a foamy or rubbery, it's going to take in some of that. So that's why I will wipe it down, because if you don't tape it down and you go to put this up, your paper is going to rise up. All right, so let's show you first the 2 of these before I do the cardstock. And now, of course, with this tape on the back, you might get some that's a little bit stuck inside of your there. It did rip. It forgot to do it on my clothes beforehand. But again, it's not cut because it's on that side of the impressions. All right, so right now, let's show you that impression versus the cardstock. Let's also show you, here's one over here I have on the side. These, can you, oh, no, that one's already run through, never mind. All right, so here's what it looks like beforehand. Now we're gonna do this again. We're gonna lock that in. You're gonna feel it fall right in. You know what, maybe I'll put this over on the ends, because that's usually where it moves and falls out. All right, face up, impressions plate, and then plate number 4. Again, we're gonna get a lot of static. Again, carefully peel that off at an angle that helps from any tearing. And now here's that one. You see how, and see we did get off. See how the paper pulled a little? So I shouldn't have put it in the corner, I should have put it on the edge. This edge was fine, but as you push through, you have that pressure and you can see how that moved. So I should have had it on both ends. Lesson learned. Don't put it in the corner, because you see when I did this on the ends, you see how that's, well, fairly lined up. That's still got a little off there. We have a lot of pressure on these items going through. All right, let's finish doing our other 3 cutouts, and then we'll go to the stamps. But let's go back. So we have our 1, 2, and we're getting our 2, 3 plates. And let's go with the smaller dies here. I am going to run these both through at the same time, even though they're very intricate, but they are smaller. But when we do the impressions, we're not going to run them through at the same time. All right, so let's, oh, wait, I don't have my, you see that? I don't have my platform. I want underneath the whole die, so it would have only done a partial cut. Did we do that video yet? I don't remember. All right, so let's look here. There's that dropout piece. This one is the only one that doesn't have a dropout piece. That is not a cutting line on the inside there. So that's why it doesn't drop out a circle. It's just going to stay like that. All right. So we have these two. I'll put down here that we're going to have to do the impressions. And I'm going to show you the before and after on that because I think it's very, very striking to see the before and after. Let's do the big frame first. This one I am definitely going to angle as much as I can. Again, we're just cutting. Make sure that my base 1 and thin die adapter 2 are completely underneath that die so everything cuts out. Let's run it through. This one I am going to go frontwards and backwards, only because there's a lot of cutting surface there. So there you are. There's your fallout cutout piece. And see, you can see even those cutout pieces, oh, I did that one the same. They layer up pretty good. All right. So then here's this. Now see how there's impression in there, but not, I wouldn't say there's a grand amount. So let's go ahead, put this back in to our die. Make sure it falls in. It's fallen in there. I'm going to go actually wind it around on that leading edge because that is what is shifting and moving it. All right, so here we have base 1, plate 2, impressions mat, and 4. All right, I don't know if you saw that impressions mat really moving as it was getting pushed through. So let's go like this real quick, get that off. Peeling it at that angle. See, there was a little bit of rip there. Did you see that? Won't be bad. It's on the back side, but you will see that as it gets tighter, you might get some of that white look coming through because it's not a solid core color. But look at that difference. Can you see that beautiful deep embossing on that? That didn't show up before. Here, let me run one through again really quick, just so you can compare the two. Let's see. Okay, I didn't cut this one, so let's just kind of rip it. I'm going to show that to you without it being embossed, just so you can compare the two. All right. So we have 1, 2, base 3 or plate 3, die angled, and another 3 on top. Just hang working onto that end there just to make sure it didn't shift. All right. So there again, we're going to get that fallout piece. So can you see the difference? This one was just run through the one time. This one was run through with the embossing plate. So I really hope, trying to see on my camera over there on my monitor, if you can really see the difference. Okay, I have a lot of scraps. We're going to do the final impressions on this, but if you're actually going to stamp on this, you would stamp the greeting first before you do your impressions. All right, so we only have to show you these two because we've already shown you the impressions on the smaller frames. All right, so we only have these two left. And I'm going to do these one at a time, just because I don't think, and I haven't tried it, but I think that it wouldn't do the impressions the correct way, in my opinion, if we ran two through at the same time. So I'm going to put that back in there, make sure it fits. This time I'm not going to wrap it around because that's when we tore the front of our cardstock. Remember, your cut or impression size underneath there. So let's go ahead, put this down and put the plate over. Oops, forgot plate 2. And I'm going to put it on the bottom. As long as it's there, that plate is there. See how this is coming out? See how much pressure and how that was moving and coming out? Yeah, so I put the 2 on the bottom. As long as you have your 1 and 2 on there, I mean, it's preferable to have 1 on the very bottom, but you can have the 2 on the bottom. I just don't want to make an extra move. So there you have that. All right, and now the last one. And this is the one, in my opinion, that moves the most. All right, so here we have that. Not really deep. Let's fit this back in. It just falls right in. I wonder if there's, let me try it on that side. It seems like there was just a little bit of a so see how that side's all fallen in there? But on this side, I feel like there's a little bit of a shadow when we actually have it fall in. Could just be the angle I'm at. All right, but see, I'm gonna cut another one because it does seem like we didn't get a good cut. See how there's a little bit, I don't know if you can see, a little bit of a gap. So you know what, I'm going to take one of the inside pieces. I'm going to cut another one. Just didn't like the way that looked. Alright, so a 3 at the bottom. This is going to be a really long video, and I'm very sorry. We haven't even got to the words yet, but the words are pretty fast. Alright. Now let's see. If I flip it over, now, see, now there's no gap. I don't know what that was. I wonder if the Since I ran them through at the same time, I wonder if the die shifted a little. So note to self, don't run two through at the same time. All right, so we have that taped down. All the edges look good. Put our foam plate, our impressions plate on top. That piece of tape is done. You can use them a lot, but when it's done, it's done. And there you have, see how beautifully that has that impression now. Okay, let me grab up all my dies over here so I don't lose any of them. Put all of my cutouts together over here. I have a big old pile over here. And let's get to our stamps. Sorry. Being very cautious about how loud I am when I'm shutting things. I do need to wipe this off, but I'm going to put it in this. I'll keep it in this just to reduce the amount of static it might get from just being out in the open, but not sure if that really helps. All right, let me put this all over to the side here. It's right by my microphone, so I'm trying to be very quiet. All right, let's look at these 9 phrases. All right. And this is what Susan, for the most part, I believe, designed this, but she had input on the frames and the impression dies. But I'm thinking, because she, on her videos, talks about how she really wanted some good words to be able to use on cards. And I'm just going to stamp them all on the other side of that two-tone cardstock that we used. All right, let me start off with the big block. I'm going to stamp these all in. Sorry, there was a squirrel on the deck. Don't know what he, sorry. I had to click my door over there just to scare the squirrel away. He likes trying to get nuts and stuff off of our deck. And I've just thwarted him just a little bit. All right, these you don't want to press too hard because they are, in my opinion, a very fine line font. And so for best results, if you're going to stamp it once, stamp, make sure you have it covered. If you're going to put this in your Stampin' Positioner, light touch and light inking. All right, so there's an anniversary saying. Here we have, let's do this on the other side of that. Again, I went more of a light touch. I didn't really press down, if you could see. So there's a sympathy saying. So this one says, anniversaries are for celebrating the joys of today, the memories of yesterday, and the hopes of tomorrow. This sending prayers and heartfelt sympathy to you and your family. Let's grab out another one. Again, I'm just barely tapping on there. You don't need a lot of pressure. This is going to stamp beautifully. That says thinking of you. Now this is the old style pad too. So remember, once you go to the new magnetic, this is like a harder foam. Those will be felt, so you won't really push down on the pad too hard. So there should be less extra ink laying around. That's have a fabulous day. Let's see. Sorry. Keeping an eye out my door to see if that darn squirrel comes back. And my daughter gives them peanuts down below. We have a bird buddy, and they were getting into the bird buddy, but then we did the slinky and we did the baffle, and so now she felt bad that the squirrels weren't able to get any food, so she throws down peanuts. We buy peanuts in the shell, you know, but apparently she hasn't fed them yet this morning, so that's why they're coming up on the deck to try to find food. So here's happiest birthday wishes. Let's see if this will fit on. Yeah, I'm gonna get the bigger block. I think that's just a little too long. And I'm doing it upside down. Again, light touch, not really pressing down. I didn't forget your birthday. I just wanted it to last longer. Where's our other long one? I'm gonna do that on the other side. Again, not really pushing too hard on the pad, not pushing too hard on the paper. May your day be filled with love and happiness. 2 more. This is the one you really have to be careful that you don't press it down too much either way, because it's less font, less stamping surface, so it's easier to get an edge. That says sending you hugs. And the last one, I believe, is a happy anniversary to go with this inside greeting. Ooh, that one I did ink a little more than I wanted to. But there's happy anniversary. So that goes with this. Sending you hugs can go with this. You have your birthday sayings here. So all really great fonts, really great sentiments. Let me close this up. So there we have that. And then we have, I did some yellow ones earlier, so there's some extras here. But then we have all these frames and fall away pieces. Fall away pieces, and then here's all of those frames. All right, guys, thanks so much. Let me grab that one that fell on the floor. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to give me that thumbs up. Have a great, oh, I'm getting a little bit of shadow. Have a great day. Like I said, this is pre-recorded, so if I am back home in Iowa this weekend, I'll try to get on at the same time to see if there's any comments coming in, but otherwise, have a great day. Bye for now.